Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Alexandra Craig here joining us today live on the podcast and on the Zoomcast today from Personal Level Fitness. That's right. She's joining us live here to talk about her amazing one-on-one personal training studio. Welcome to the show today. How are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How's weather out in Columbus?
You know, it's not too bad. It's actually kind of nice. It started to cool down a little bit, so we like that.
Yep, same here in New York. Well, excited I get to see you. We've spoken so many times via on the regular podcast, so it's great to see you. And I know you brought a special guest, Fred, with you. Hello, Fred.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So great. I can't wait to meet you. And first and foremost, tell us, Alexandra, a little bit about what Personal Level Fitness is.
So Personal Level Fitness, we're based here in Columbus, Ohio, around Upper Arlington. We are a private one-on-one personal training studio. Everything we do is individualized. When you first come into our studio, we have a cardio room up front that you can use anytime. And then as you walk through the studio, we can train 3 people at the same time, but each person is in their own room with their own trainer, like Fred, and their own equipment. So it makes it really safe. We really watch people's form, and then we can really have some good conversations about nutrition, cardio, and goals.
I love this. Well, this is exciting, and I'm glad you're both here today. And, since this is our first show, before we get into all the work that you do and all the beautiful rooms and studios and the one-on-one that you offer, I want to find out just a little bit about you, if you don't mind, because I know you said you wanted to change your body. You were in your teenage years, right? And that's when you started hitting the gym and loving it. Could you share a little bit about your background?
So I started at a small gym in my hometown, and the owner and some of the other members there taught me how to lift, and they did a really good job. And then it just really got my interest in helping people and helping them get to their goals. I wanted to go into physical therapy, and then when I got to Ohio State, I went into exercise physiology because that sounded more up my alley. And got a nutrition minor at Ohio State, and then worked independently as a personal trainer, and then opened my own studio with my husband. So It's worked out great.
And how many years now have you been here for?
The studio will be open 20 years in March.
Oh, so my goodness.
A long time.
Congratulations on that. And I know there's so many different success stories. We've talked about your clients. We've talked about, but we want to talk again more about your approach and the specifics of what you do there, because clients really like this. It's private. It's not that open area, which I don't personally like. I know you didn't personally like it either, but tell me what benefits your clients because of this privacy in a sense, and the feeling of, not having to, be judged by someone who may be a little more advanced, a little more fit than us.
Yeah. So, and you can help me with this too, because you do a lot of the training as well. They just feel very comfortable. Mm-hmm. They know that my team really cares about them, and they know that they're there to help. Do you have anything to add?
When I think about the privacy of the rooms, there's 2 words that come to mind, is safe and vulnerable. So it's a safe space. There's no judgment. Not to say that other open gyms tend to produce that, but it can be hard to get ourselves to understand that mentally inside of them, that we're not being judged. So being in that privacy allows it to be safe. And then also we're allowed to be vulnerable since it's just that trainer who is listening. So we focus on trying to hear that client and see what exactly they're trying to say rather than directing them to specific things.
Yeah.
Got it. And can I just ask, Fred, how long ago did you join the staff here? And, how did the two of you actually meet? And I would love to hear a little bit of your background, Fred, since you're on board.
Of course. My name is Frederick Pitts V. I graduated from Ohio Dominican University roughly 3 years ago with a bachelor's in exercise science. There is where I played college football, so I did a lot of leadership and doing a lot of captain work for the team. So I always had a role in kind of directing people in a certain path. So I always want to help people reach a certain goal. And then after I graduated, I moved back to Dayton, Ohio, and I knew I wanted to come back here to Columbus. So I moved out here, And I was probably out here for about a month, and I was looking for a job.
Aw.
And I was already certified for personal training,
Yeah.
and she was actually the first employer that kind of set up the interview process. And ever since then, I've been here. So it's been about 2.5 years I've been here at
Yeah.
Personal Level Fitness.
I was lucky I snagged him.
Oh, that's great. And I know, we want to do an overview of, the services you offer. And then we're going to dive into more about, the benefits of your studio and your trainers and helping those to recover from an injury. So I don't know, where did you want to go next?
Let's do the injury recovery process, because I think that
Yes.
people don't know what to do when they get an injury. One, we have a lot of clients who come in with issues already, be it hip, knee, shoulder, whatever, low back, and they're not doing anything about it. They're just kind of tolerating it, and that's tough. So I think when they come in to see us, we can really work with them on certain things, but then sometimes we have to encourage them, like, hey, you need to go see somebody and get this worked out. It's gone on too long. People are very stubborn. So, aren't they?
Oh, very.
Very.
Go away. Yeah, it's not going away. So Fred is really good at, we've both had different injuries and have had to recover from that. And Fred and I were talking a little bit before the show about just the mental aspect and the physical aspect.
Yeah.
And for me, it was very mental. I had a hamstring tear. I had a labral tear years ago just from hip dysplasia. So just my body was like, yeah, you're going to have surgery because your body is a little off. And so I did that.
Yeah.
And you have to start over, and it can be very depressing. But as you work through that, it's slow and steady wins the race, and you really have to do your rehab for that. But I think mentally, it's very hard, especially when you're super active.
Oh, yes, of course. I think starting out by just finding clarity in the situation and figuring out a plan to attack it can help calm down people. I think everything seems very overwhelming. If you're feeling pain and you're uncomfortable, life is not fun.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of sit down, relax, take a deep breather, and focus on finding a plan, I think everything will go smoothly. And then after you find that plan, usually the first step, I think, is rest, because we get a lot of people who tend to overdo things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just mentioned before, they want to actually push through the pain instead of let's focus on why we are feeling the pain. A lot of this might consist of breaking down our everyday movements, understanding that the movement patterns that we do could actually be causing the pain that we're feeling every day. So it's kind of taking a step back and actually gathering as much information as possible and then finding a way to move forward after that.
Beautiful. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's hard to do, so they need a lot of encouragement. And I have a team that, we all have different issues, right, over the course of our life. And when you've had some of those different things, it helps you connect with the client more, and they do feel like, oh, so you have been through something like this. You do know what I'm talking about. And that makes it more real.
Yeah, for sure. And let me just ask, working with someone with an injury, obviously it's got to be difficult and painful and trying, and to have that, extra attention and privacy, I think is just amazing, because, how we feel when we're down, right? We all know when our body's not right, we're not feeling well. So it's an added benefit than going to some place that's out in the open and they're doing group sessions to help. So I just really love this one-on-one personal attention that you all offer here. And got to remind everyone at this time, personallevelfitness.com. Yes, that's the website. We're talking about Personal Level Fitness, based out of Upper Arlington, which is in Columbus, Ohio. And we're here today again with our owner and one of our fitness trainers, our personal trainers, Fred, and of course Alexandra joining us here. Craig, she is our professional of the year, and talking more about all that her studio has to offer. And again, recovering from an injury could be something very difficult, and both Fred Pitts and herself are very knowledgeable and experienced in this field to help. And besides injuries, what other things are you helping people get through?
Oh gosh, so much stuff. Sometimes it's just,
Depression, right? Anxiety. I was
yeah,
reading that, and especially since the
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah. It's the depression and I think anxiety and even with the recovery, there's so much. When you get an injury, you do get very depressed, and I think people don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that can be very overwhelming, like Fred said, and tough to get through. But just getting out of the house and coming in and being in a positive environment is super helpful, especially when you have that one-on-one where they're really caring for you and
Yeah.
really showing sympathy, empathy. Because a lot of people, we've had people come in and, they get very emotional, and these guys handle it beautifully. I mean, it's just part of the process. But other things like anxiety, depression, it's a real thing. And I think when people come in and exercise, they just feel so much better when they leave,
Yep.
and it's mentally overall.
It is. Fred, I told Alexandra that I stopped working out back in 2014. I have a 7 and 9 year old, and I started walking. I've walked 3 times now total. Not much, but
Yay!
because I had the kids and I'm busy, and then now we're sick this week, but with our cold. But just simply walking. But I'm so inspired to feel my body. It feels so good. A little soreness on the back of the calves and the butt. And I'm like, wow, I'm not doing much, but it just inspires you. And I think a lot of people that may be listening, watching, who've out of that loop, forget it's like a drug. It becomes addicting because it makes your body feel better. What's happening in our bodies? You guys are the experts here. When you start working out, what hormones are we releasing? What's happening? Because it feels so good.
A lot of happy hormones.
Yeah, obviously. Yes.
I think a positive feedback loop starts to fire in your brain after you're doing a workout. It's kind of similar to, you might have heard about how people in the military have expressed that making your bed in the morning is an achievement that you can kind of mark off. There's a task that I've done. A lot of times working out is probably the most
Yeah.
challenging things that people get. I think people tend to say, once I make it here, I know that I'm good. The hardest part is just getting in the door. So once you get there, the workout goes smoothly. It's something that you can check off the list. Usually the most challenging thing that you had during your day. When we're dealing with clients, these are everyday people who have completely different occupations than exercising.
Mhm.
So everything else in their life might feel very controllable, or
Yeah. Yes.
or things that they're used to. This is a realm that they're
Yeah.
just not used to. This is something that is completely different. So I think checking off that workout off the list allows them to feel so much better because it's like, I've achieved something.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
second, the results. I think results drive people tremendously.
Yeah.
Like when you see, oh, I've lost a pound on the scale, or my clothes are fitting so much less or so much looser than they were before, things start to, it's like a flywheel effect. You
Yeah.
build momentum and you feel amazing because your body is changing in a great way.
Yeah.
So
It's
true.
amazing.
Well, what else did you want to make sure we cover for today here? According to the notes, I know you wanted to talk about people really in general, that a lot of people do feel that we're not getting anywhere, right? And you got to trust the process. And could you break it down to us, the types of packages you're offering, right? Because you need that commitment, you need that accountability, but to come once isn't going to cut it, right?
Right.
Tell us the process of what you all do here, if you don't mind, at personal level.
Yeah, absolutely. So when someone first calls in, I chat with them a little bit over the phone. They come in, they do a free session, and they always do it with one of my team members. And then I will sit down with them afterwards, and we have a very candid conversation about, what do you want to do?
Uh-huh.
Is it realistic? What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? Because that makes a big difference in someone's goal. Someone can want a 6-pack and want that all they want. But if they're not really willing to change their nutrition at all, they're never going to get there.
Yeah.
Strength is another one. You have to actually lift to get stronger, right?
Yeah.
Have to put in the work. So we're always looking for people who are really ready to make a lifestyle change,
Uh-huh.
because we don't want it to be a quick fix. We really want it to be a lifestyle. So, like our smallest package is a 25-second session package, and we have a ton of other packages. But if they're doing 3 times a week, which is really a good amount, it's not too much, not too little,
Yeah.
they can really start to see some changes within 7 weeks.
Wow.
Usually they're putting on muscle, losing a little fat, and then by the end of that 7 weeks, their clothes are starting to get looser, and they're feeling.
Uh-huh.
But it's hard to get through that first 7 weeks because you're waiting on the scale to go down, and we don't focus on the scale. We really like to focus on body fat and making sure we're maintaining as much lean mass as possible and taking down the fat. And a lot of that is, it's a lot of work on the nutrition side too.
Well, also, I just want to point out, you have serious credentials in that department too, right? You are a nutrition coach, and is it a master coach? Could you share what that is?
Yeah, with the Precision Nutrition Level 2 Master Coach, yeah.
Well, you want to hear something? I don't know if you've watched this yet, and I just started on Netflix. I don't know if it's any good or not, but it's called You Are What You Eat.
Oh, okay. I watched The Hunger Hack.
Oh, okay. Haven't watched. I started watching this the other night, and I'm looking.
Okay.
It's like all identical twins, and they're setting up for, it's like an 8-week challenge. And one of the twins is doing all plant-based food. One's doing meat, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm assuming the plant is going to win. I don't know, because they started talking about the meat and the industry, and I'm like, wait, I don't know. But it's fascinating what this could do for your body. Just the way you eat could fuel us, can change us, and not everybody's aware of that. People think also just work out. No, you have to have your nutritional goals in place. And is there anything in particular nutrition-wise that you want to share with us today about the importance of nutrition, and any tips or tricks? What should we be doing? How much water should I be drinking a day? This always confuses me. It's like my weight divided by something.
You float away.
But isn't it like your body weight multiplied, or I don't know?
I think everything is relative towards you.
Okay.
So it's hard to give a one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to water or nutrition. Mm-hmm. Let's take protein, for example.
Okay.
The normal rate or normal amount of protein that we should be eating is going to be roughly double the kilograms of our body weight, but it's going to be a lot compared to what the normal person is going to be normally using or eating. So we always try to start people on lower levels because it's about making lifestyle changes, like she mentioned before. So if I tell you, hey, I want you to go eat 150 grams of protein right now, what would you tell me? If I eat 150 grams of protein every day, what would you say?
I can't. Huh? What?
Right?
I'm like, I know my peanut butter is like 7 if I do 1 tablespoon on the thing, and then I'm like 2. But I'm not supposed to be eating that much protein, am I? They say it's half your body weight. No? See, I don't know.
So
if I'm 120 pounds, should I be eating 60 grams of protein? That just scares me to hear that much.
It's probably much more closer to roughly 100 grams of protein.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we would never start you on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that's where it comes into working it into your lifestyle. I think a lot of like fad diets tend to make drastic changes for people, and it's not something that you can continuously keep up. Mm-hmm. So you might lose a lot of weight, you might feel a little unhealthy, and then it's going to quickly turn around because it's not something you can sustain. So I'd rather say, hey, why don't we try to do 50 grams of protein today? Let's just see how it goes.
Okay.
And I'll measure how confident you feel in it, because it's not my goal, it's your goal. So I want you to feel confident that you can achieve it first before we even start off and set ourselves down that path.
Yeah.
We start with 50 grams. Can we try to build that up to around a week or so? Maybe we're building some consistency. It's actually quite easy. Let's raise it up to 60. So that's kind of the route that we would more so take, because we're trying to have something sustainable. I always tell clients, 100 years. I think our bodies are amazing. They can do wonderful things. So can we at least reach 100 years? Yeah. If we're going to reach 100 years old, we've got to sustain these life practices.
God bless. Absolutely. There's so much we have to do, right? And you as our experts, I mean, and being in this field for so long, it's just like you see the results. And on the website, I also want to point out there's some amazing before and after results. I love hearing the client stories and experiences. If you wanted to share any, I'd appreciate it. My goodness.
Yeah, we had a girl who was coming for a while, and she had to go off on her own. And the first thing she did when she got to the studio, she was like, my stomach and my gut are just not happy.
Yeah.
And so we had to sit down, and we just went through everything that she ate that made her feel good, that she didn't have a reaction to, stuff that was, on the fence, and then stuff that she felt was like, I have a really bad reaction to this. And she did a great job, but I also prepped her like, hey, this is not going to be easy. If you really want to kind of take control of this, then let's just put in the work for a couple months and see what happens. And I tell you, she did it, and she did amazing. And she was so thankful for that, because she's like, I haven't had any gut issues since forever. And she said, every once in a while, I can add some stuff in on the bad list, it doesn't affect her. And so that was amazing. But she lost, she was working out 3 times a week.
Wow.
She lost 3 or 4% body fat. And then she kept that going over the year. She was an ice skater that had just started when she started with us, just started taking lessons. And then she came in for a fitness assessment just to check in. And she was doing competitions. It was amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
Just the eating. If her gut was messed up, she wouldn't have been able to do that. But it gave her so much more confidence and hope that, oh, my gosh, I can have a healthy, happy gut and do some stuff.
Oh, my goodness. And that's just, you mentioned BMI. I just remember the old school days and elementary where they would like pinch your fat with a thing. And then I saw on that TV show I mentioned, there's like a machine you can lay out, like an x-ray machine, and it tells you your BMI. How do you get your BMI these days? What's the way to do that?
So we have a scanner. It's called a Staiku.
Okay.
And you actually stand on this little turntable. It rotates you 360.
Okay.
Put your body into a computer, and it tells us all sorts of stuff. And we don't do body mass index. We really like body fat. And looking to see how much fat and muscle you're gaining or losing. And that is a huge sign as to what we need to tell you to do nutritionally. So it's a really helpful tool, don't you think?
Oh, extremely helpful. I think we got a lot of clients too who really focus on the analytics, and they love looking at numbers. So for those people, they are very, very pleased to see things where they can actually pinpoint and focus on those type of numbers rather than just saying, hey, go do this and try and we'll see what happens. So there's like actual study-based things behind it.
Yeah, we're very scientific and have a process that works.
And I know you guys love happy clients and love making your clients happy. It's nothing better than
we
that.
do really care about our clients. Yeah, we love them all.
Oh my goodness. Well, we still have just only 3 minutes left in the show. What else did you and Fred want to share for today? This is exciting.
Oh, let's see. If you are struggling with depression, anxiety, or an injury, do your physical therapy, come in, do the exercise, eat healthy. That's going to make you feel better. Take some deep breaths. But there is hope, and you can make a change. Just really start out small, keep it balanced, but really just start out small.
Perfect.
That's what I would suggest.
Oh, I love it. And anyone can start at any time in the simplicity of your own home, right? Lift up.
That's
okay,
correct.
maybe not the water bottle, but you could start
Just
lifting.
like you did your walking.
I can walk. I have the job. I have the kids, and there's been enough excuses over the years. But the truth is that my time is limited. So by starting just by walking, and then eventually when the sports die down soon next month, I have more time after that. And maybe the kids we can go biking together, walk together. So it's everything in moderation for sure.
Yeah, you'll be a great example for your kids too.
Thank you. Thanks to you guys. And I just love the before and afters on your website. All the clients that you've touched and, what they're doing, what they're saying and how they feel. It's just, what a great rewarding job you guys have. And how did you want to leave off for your listeners today who may want to get inspired with this one-on-one training? And again, for those of you in the Columbus area, especially, and then also virtually, if we're out of state, are you offering anything virtually too?
We do. Yeah, we do training online, so they can always give us a call here at the studio, 614-488-0004. And then if they are wanting to do something virtually, we do that, and we would love to do that. They can connect with us on the website, personallevelfitness.com. And then they can also shoot me an email, personallevelfitness@gmail.com. If you have questions for Fred, he's super knowledgeable, or myself, you can always email me, and then I will pass those questions along to Fred as well.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys so much for being here again. And how can we reach you?
614-488-0004, or you can do the email, personallevelfitness@gmail.com, or go on our website and you can contact us that way and see our testimonials at personallevelfitness.com.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry I'm so nasally sounding today.
Oh, it's okay. Allergy season.
I know, right? Oh, God. And cold season. The kids are bringing it home from school. But I'll be
That's
better
fine.
next time. But thank you guys so much for sharing this and for being here.
problem.
And I hope people reach out. And are we back again next week?
We are.
Oh, Zoom show?
Yes.
Awesome. Even better. I love it. I love
know.
it. And next time, I don't know, just if you want, you don't have to, but you could pull up some like those before and afters. You could bring on another guest if you'd like, but I would love, we could do that, peruse the website and check out some of those stuff. Just an idea. All right.
Okay.
Thank
Sounds
you guys.
good.
Bye, Fred. Nice meeting you.
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.